Hi, this is Mike Henriksen from Velocity 2016 in New York City. I'm here with Marie from Ixia. Marie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. What a great conference.
It has been good for you.
It has really been good.
Okay, and you're with Ixia.
Yeah.
And for those who may not know Ixia, what do you guys do?
So Ixia is the premier company in network visibility as well as network test. And what we provide is the software as well as hardware. I know this is a DevOps conference, but to enable folks to test their infrastructure, their protocols, their applications. And we're excited about being here because we are taking that testing capability with our Ixia developer products to the DevOps community to allow any of the DevOps folks to be able to bring testing much earlier into the cycle so that they're no longer dependent on getting just purely into the QA labs. Now they have a capability in their agile environments to be able to make sure that whatever they're developing from an infrastructure or a security standpoint is functionally validated much earlier in the process.
So test early, test often, and test throughout.
Absolutely, because as many of us know, early testing, if you can find a bug much earlier, according to the Ponemon Institute sends all kinds of reports that shows it's so much significantly more cost-effective to fix it in that development environment than in the production.
Absolutely. So are you taking input back from once it's monitored, once it's released? Is that part of the testing cycle?
We do. One of the key things that we actually do is because we do production, network visibility, as well as pre-production testing, we actually support continuous testing. So our test capabilities can typically also be used in the production networks. But what you don't want to do in production ones is to apply heavy traffic load because that's your actual traffic. Okay. But we have what at Ixia we call our ATI Research Center, our Advanced Threat and Intelligence Research Center. And what they do is they monitor what is going on, what they're seeing in the real world, and then they actually bring it back in terms of what kind of malware they're seeing, what kind of applications, if there's custom applications being developed, and they build that and make that available as part of our products that are now available to the DevOps community.
So those people who are doing continuous integration, continuous delivery, need to think about continuous testing and weaving that in through their process, their cycle?
Absolutely, and that's one of the key things we do for CI/CD is that we are, our whole process is very integrated into that, so that as you get into much more the agile development, it's the whole testing process is there as you're evolving your applications, your software, you name it.
So what do you see as the biggest types of companies that want to use this? Is it retail? Is it banking, financial? Are there any particular industries?
So a lot of our specialty at Ixia tends to be folks that build security and network infrastructure.
Interesting.
So a lot of the developers for any of those types of companies now, traditionally...
That makes sense, yeah.
Yes, so that's one side of it. But the other side of it is also a lot of the larger enterprises and service providers, as they move to NFV and software-defined networking, they're actually hiring their own developers to develop some of the new services across these networks. So they would be able to leverage the software to validate and functionally test in their development cycle as well.
Excellent. So, Marie, if we sit down next year at this time and have this conversation, again, what would you like to say has changed for Ixia in the 12 months that are ahead of us here?
What I'd like to see is broader adoption and the thinking of the utilization of the software much earlier. Again, it's a new capability that traditionally wasn't available to the developers. So I'd like to see more of our customers adopt the software a lot earlier in their development cycle.
And what about for the industry? What do you think the industry should be doing different as a whole, in the DevOps space? What do you think we should be doing?
I think in the DevOps space, two things are going on, and that is a greater awareness for security earlier on and making sure that that's better baked in from the get-go, as opposed to, I often hear from folks, it's like, okay, do you want it faster, better, or cheaper? Pick two. And so in many ways, the developers are so early in that cycle, and they're being pushed to go faster, 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 but sometimes that's compromising other facets like security. And so these types of tools help that environment be safer, develop better code from the get-go as opposed to discovering it later. The other area I would say, we're inundated by the number of IoT devices, and a lot of those are built by the developers, and right or wrong, and I care very much about the security of our customers, and also the personal security folks is by having these types of tools more readily available to the developers, even if their depth and knowledge of security is not that deep, this helps strengthen them so they're building the applications from the get-go to be robust, to be secure.
Excellent. That sounds like a great journey. We look forward to that conversation next year.
Thanks for having me.